Now I'm depressed because I done filed bankruptcy. I've done all these things. And so now I need a healing in two areas of my life, right? And so when we think about uh, us as a people, we think about you and your family, and we think about our grandparents. Now, my father, when I would go, Demopolis, Alabama, is where he was raised. I think he was born in Jefferson County, but Demopolis, Alabama, where we go see my grandparents, or Utah, Alabama, where we see my mom's grandma, my mom's mom, and back then, one of the things that my grandfather would cook is tripe. Y'all know what tripe is? So, but back then, how granddad lives 82. He lived to be 82. 94. How did I miss that? All right. So my great grandmother. Okay. All right. I knew it was a two. So when they lived off what they could live off of. All right. And so what's going on with our health, we're seeing more and more people that are diagnosed with cancer per capita. Yes. No. Trout is from the sea. Tripe is from it is the stomach, right? Come on, somebody. I know all y'all done evolved and y'all, but you would have to cook it down. I think he told me put water in there and cook it down. Then you had to add some more water and cook it down. You just trying to tear it up. But it was good. It was good. But what we're looking at is we're seeing more and more per capita. And if I ask Deacon Halls and Deacon James Lewis and my father as well, and those who've been around for a while, when y'all were young, did y'all hear a lot about cancer? This thing is new. It's new. It ain't never been like this before. And so we're battling that. And you're talking about $1 trillion business in treating cancer, not curing it, treating it. I don't know who's doing what. I don't know who behind the curtain. I don't know anything about that. But I know that when we look at history and we look at the things that our grandparents and our parents ate, and they doing all right. But that generation behind the baby boomers is having some struggles with some stuff. Okay. And so want to talk about this. Healthcare is skyrocketing. To take care of yourself, it takes $1 million. If you're not on a healthcare insurance plan or anything like that with your employer, like you're a one-shot wonder and you got to get health insurance off the exchange, Lord have mercy. But being in a position to have good health care is important, but also being in position that you can afford health care is even more important. When we think about health care and things of this nature, scripture says money answers all things. See, we don't like to talk about money. We don't like to talk about those things. But I'm telling you right now, if you're not looking at what's happening to the middle class is vanishing, and it ain't vanishing up. It ain't like middle class people are all of a sudden becoming millionaires. They're becoming homeless. Becoming homeless. They can barely make ends meet. And you look at this little town, you look at what's going on around here. A 2-bedroom apartment is $1,900 a month. A decent one where you ain't got to shoot your way in and out. You can pay $600 a month, but you better be strapped. You better be strapped and you better have a good aim. Money matters. And I want us to think about, I saw Skylar right here. I remember when I was his age, I mean, I could eat chips and cake and candy all day long. But I eat 2 now and later, I'm gaining 2 pounds right then. You're going to see it the next Sunday in the pulpit. You just like, that's a little snug on Pastor up there. He looking a little snuggly. But when you feel like, and this is the thing, no healing is too small to pray. You got to start right now with how you want God to meet you in that healing process. You got to practice on the sneezing. Like Nick said, you got to practice on the sneeze. Say, Lord, I'm about to go in this interview. I'm praying right now that the sneezing cease so I can at least get through this interview. Because you haven't practiced and seen that, when they tell you that your blood cell count is low, what you gonna do then? You hadn't practiced. You think LeBron can make free throws and all these NBA players can just make free throws just because they tall? No, because they sat there and shot a gazillion shots when they were in high school, middle school, and college to be able to be pros. I want us to be pros in our prayer life. And all healing don't come the same. Don't come the same. Turn to Mark 9 and 29. You know, sometimes y'all get some shouted out. Sometimes I tell Lady Monica, she's like, what you doing in these clothes? You got all this stuff around your collar. And I'm like, because I ain't, I'm going to wear it a few times before I go to the high dollar cleaners. So we had to spray some shout it out on there, right? So read Mark 9 and 29. Hold on one second, Nick. Let her read that.
So he said to them, this kind can come out by nothing but prayer and fasting.
Go back to 29. I'm sorry. 26. I'm sorry. I started 26.
Then the spirit cried out, convulsed him greatly, and came out of him. And he became as one dead, so that many said, he is dead. But Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him up, and he arose. And when he had come into the house, his disciples asked him privately, why could we not cast it out? So he said to them, this kind can come out by nothing but prayer and fasting.
Mama praying for you is good. The pastor praying for you is good. All this stuff is good. But sometimes you're going to have to fast and pray. And we got this little thing going on in November. It's called 21 Day Fast. And we've been doing it for a while. Pastor Coleman started. We continue it on with it. We do it every year. But sometimes you got to fast outside of that. When that thing gets shaky, you don't need to wait. Well, I'm going to wait till November 2026 and it's February. Why is fasting and praying so important when it comes to, in this particular text, what type of healing took place? Deliverance of the 3, spiritual, right? This man was demon possessed. There's convulsions and craziness, kind of like the people at work. And we had some rookie disciples showing up, trying to mock what they saw Jesus doing, trying to stand like him, talk like him, speak like him. And that demon said, I'll bite your head off. But Jesus came and the demon came out and they thought he was dead and he finally woke up and they said, why could we not do this? What is fasting and praying got to do with us being healed and delivered? It's an act of submission. What else is it? Two S's: submission, sacrifice. If you skating through the 21-day fast and you just like, I done got used to it now, you need to do something else. You need to go deeper in and further down. You need to graduate to water. I don't know what it is, but it's not just that. And I say that to jokingly, but you got to go more. If the sacrifice ain't there, the deliverance ain't gonna be there. If the sacrifice there, it's all about pricking the heart of the God who made the entire universe. So just I'm gonna go on a Facebook fast. You ought to be fasting from Facebook. All that stuff on there, you ought to be off of there. But the power that in the spirit realm that reaches heaven by us fasting and praying, this thing is spiritual. It ain't got nothing, it has nothing to do with your name. It doesn't have anything to do with where you go to church. It is spiritual, and that is a spiritual act. It's not about reciting something and remembering some kind of creed or something. It is a spiritual act, and God reacts to things that he created in the spirit realm. So Jesus said, no, the reason it happens, some things are not going to be easy. The diagnosis may not be easy. Whatever you're going through may not be easy. But one thing about it is you got to know what to say. You read that?
Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof.
I want you to say it like you preach it. I want you to say it like that.
Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Can I add to that?
Yeah. You got the mic.
Speaking of with the fasting, is crucifying the flesh as well. And we can get really loud in our flesh.